सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are reading from the book Pramana Vicara, an inquiry into the nature of knowledge by Swami Dayananda, Saraswati. Next section, the teaching method. Generally, with the same orientation that we have when we gain knowledge of things in the world, we read the Shastra and tend to interpret it. But it will not work. Shastra is a pramanam revealing the knowledge of the self. As what the Shastra says is unlike anything that we know, the language alone cannot reveal the intended subject matter. The language that we have gathered is meant only for knowing things of the world and for our daily transactions in the world, like getting our coffee and idli. It does not serve anything more. There's a footnote here, idli, a pancake made of steamed rice. Then should the Shastra use peculiar language and words? If known words cannot reveal, how can unknown words and language reveal? So we have to use the same language to understand reality. But that language, the words of the Shastra, have to be handled carefully and properly. The one who knows the technique of handling the words is called a guru. The teaching imparted in this way becomes the pramanam. What should I do as a student? What is the job of the student? To be alert and present and expose yourself to the teaching. Allow the Shruti Vakyas coming to the teacher to do the job. Let it do the magic. This is called tradition. The traditional teaching is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. Vedanta is a teaching tradition. That teaching tradition alone works. Vedanta is not a system. Just as psychotherapy is not a system, it is a method for your mental well-being. There is a footnote for therapy. The therapy is a method. The therapist learns the method of making the person talk, how to listen, when and how to respond, etc. It is a method learned, not just got out of books. Vedanta is just a method because we are solving a problem that does not exist. The entire teaching is a method. It is not only the Shastra that is the pramanam, but Guru Upadishta Shastra alone is pramanam. The Shastra that is handled properly in keeping with the teaching tradition is the pramanam. Whenever Shankara talks about Shastra pramanam, he will bring in Guru also. Shastra alone is not enough. The Guru on his own cannot be the pramanam. Whatever the Guru teaches must be based on the Shastra. Therefore, Guru Upadishta Shastra alone is the pramanam. If you read the Shastra by yourself, you will get your own meaning. That is why we have so many upstarts calling themselves Guru. That is very unfortunate. Here we are trying to solve a problem that does not exist. But it is still a problem. Sampradaya with alone is Guru. He is called a Shrotriya, one who has learned Vedanta through the words of a Guru. That means he has received the Sampradaya, has been exposed to the teaching of another Sampradaya with in the tradition. This is how the Parampara comes down to us. So if you listen to any Guru who is a Sampradaya with, you will hear the same thing. On the other hand, if you listen to a person who is not a Sampradaya with, who thinks he has understood the Shastra without the necessity of a Guru Parampara, you will hear differently. This teaching Sampradaya is something we have maintained in India thus far. In this Sampradaya, anyone who exposes himself to the teaching adequately not only gains the knowledge but also learns the method of teaching. In the Kenopanishad, the teacher says, Iti Shushruma Purvesham Yenastad Vyachakshire. Iti Shushruma Purvesham Yenastad Vyachakshire. This is how we have heard from the earlier teachers who have taught us. Indian music also somewhat like that. You cannot just sing or play from written notes. You have to listen and learn. The more you listen, the more the melodies stay with you. It is a Karana Parampara, listening tradition. Vedanta also is a Karana Parampara. Atmava are shrotavyah atma. Atmava are shrotavyah atma. Atma is to be listened to. When listening takes place and the mind is backing the ears, knowledge arises. This knowledge is of the Swarupa of the Pramata, the Atman which is self-evident. There is no object or person to objectify. That's how knowledge takes place. Therefore, Shabda Pramanam gives you Shabda Jnanam, knowledge born of Shabdam, the words of the Shastra. Atma being Nitya Paroksha, always self-evident, this knowledge is Aparoksha Jnanam, direct and immediate. Next section, Upanishad. This Aparoksha Jnanam is available in books called Upanishads. Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. Vedanta Nama Upanishad Pramanam. This is from the Vedanta Sara, verse 3. What we call Vedanta is Upanishad and it is a Pramanam. We have seen that the whole Veda is a Pramanam. The Upanishad is part of the Veda, generally at the end of the Veda, except the Ishavasya Upanishad, which is in the Samhita, the hymn portion of the Veda itself. It is the last chapter of the hymns of the Shukla Yajur Veda. It is also Vedanta. You sometimes hear people claim Veda means knowledge and Vedanta is the end of knowledge. And that is not correct. Vedanta is just a positional name. It is the end at the end of the Vedas. There is no other meaning for this. In the Sampradaya, the word Vedanteshu, meaning at the end portions of the Veda, is often used in plural. There are many Upanishads in these 4 Vedas. If it were to mean the end of knowledge, there cannot be any plural. Vedanta is the Upanishad. When the reference is to the end portion of the Veda, Vedanta can be in plural. The subject matter of Vedanta is also called Vedanta. When it indicates the subject matter, it is always in singular. While the word Upanishad indicates only the end portion of the Veda, the word Vedanta indicating the subject matter can include other texts having the same subject matter. Although a part of the Veda, the Upanishad is treated separately because it has Vishaya, a subject matter of its own, knowledge of the Atma, the Self. Moksha, the phala of studying the Upanishad, is also different from whatever phala we can get from the rest of the Veda. The whole Veda is phalavat. The knowledge gained from it is always useful. There is no phala shunyatvam, absence of usefulness for any part of the Veda, including the Upanishads. It is always valuable to human beings because it is deliberate. There may be absence of phalavatvam, usefulness, with reference to the other pramanams, like the eyes. When you open your eyes, you see a lot of things, many of which do not serve any purpose at all. Many of the sights make no difference to your life. However, being a pramanam, it will report to you whatever there is, a pebble, a rock, a plant, or an insect. Since all that you see are not necessarily useful, there may be some phalavatvam lacking there. What you see may give you neither satisfaction nor pain. It may be neither ishta nor anishta. You will see, hear, etc. many things with the 5 pramanams, which do not evoke any response from you. This is called audashinyam. The only response would be indifference. However, the entire Veda, including the Vedanta, is always a phalavat pramanam, revealing something useful. You sometimes hear people, erudite people, trying to show that Vedanta is scientific. Vedanta is not quote-unquote scientific, nor is it required to be so. It is a pramanam. Science itself is limited by the pratyaksha pramanams, none of which can reach the Vishaya of the Upanishad. There is no scientific way of proving compassion or other emotions. This does not mean they do not exist. The subject matter of Vedanta does not require any proof. What is self-evident is predicated. It tells you that you, the self-evident being, mistaken for an entity subject to limitations, are free from limitations. Further, it also presents Brahman as the cause of the entire Jagat. These are lakshanas of Brahman. Brahman is revealed, unfolded as the lakshya, the implied meaning of words that you know, words being the only means to convey that knowledge. The meaning of the words is conveyed by implication. That is why the method of handling the words is so important. It has to serve as a pramana. Meaning of the word Upanishad. The Upanishad is a compound word. In the compound Upanishad, Shad is the base word arising out of the root Sadal. So this is a footnote here. Sadal Visharana Gati Avasadhaneshu. Sadal Visharana Gati Avasadhaneshu. Through a series of steps governed by grammar rules, it becomes Shad. The derivation of the word Upanishad from the root clearly shows its meaning. The Sanskrit language has about 2000 verbal roots. These are often called dhatus, from which you can make infinite words by adding various prefixes and suffixes. Further, the language lends itself to formation of compounds. These are called samasas, by combining two or more words. Even in English, there are some compounds like gas station, sidewalk, roadblock, traffic light, etc., which are already there in the dictionary. Compounds in Sanskrit, however, may not be found in the dictionary. Only basic words will be there, while Sanskrit writing is full of compounds. Coming back to the word Upanishad, the root is Shadul. It becomes Sad, the base word. In English, when you want a word indicating the agent of action, you add a suffix er to the verb. Thus we get words like thinker from think, walker from walk, talker from talk, etc. In Sanskrit, there is a suffix called quip that makes the verb an agent noun and then disappears. In English, there is a similar situation. The one who eats is an eater, but the one who cooks is a cook. There is no visible suffix. When quip is added to the root sad, it converts it into a word sad and then gets dropped. Now the meaning of the sad is the agent of the action indicated by the word sad. The root sad has three meanings: visharanam, causing disintegration; avasadhanam, causing destruction; and gati, reaching. So the word sad means the one that disintegrates, destroys, and reaches, or makes one reach. Suppose a tree undergoes visharanam, disintegration. It can sometimes be brought back with effort. With nourishment and care, provided a portion of the root is still there. From the roots, the tree can come back again. But if the tree is totally destroyed with its roots, it cannot be revived at all. So in addition to visharanam, disintegration, we have another meaning of the word sad, that is avasadhanam, total rooting out. Avasadayati, unmulayati, it totally uproots, destroys, so it can never come back. The third meaning of the word sad is gamayati. It makes you reach. Gamayati normally implies getting, reaching, going, moving, etc. But it's also used in the sense of knowing. In Sanskrit, any word that has the meaning of gati, going, reaching, or prapti, getting, can also be used in the sense of knowing. In English also we say, did you get it? To ask the listener if he understood what you said. We did not throw anything for him to get. This is true in many other languages. Therefore, the third meaning, gamayati, refers to Brahma gamayati, knowing or understanding Brahman. Tamil also uses the word nulayai yaradu, to enter in the sense of knowing. A teacher asks the student, Nulayain dada, did it enter your head? One student was watching a rat negotiating its way through the thatch roof, not paying attention to what the teacher was saying. When the teacher suddenly asked, Dayananda, did it enter? The teacher replied, Sir, the whole body has entered except the tail. When we say Visharanam, the question that arises immediately is, disintegration of what? The answer is disintegration of what you do not want. The entire collection of what you do not want. Anartha vratan, anartha vratan. Anartha is that which you want. Artha is that which you want. Anartha is the opposite of that which you do not want. It disintegrates anartha vratan, the entire collection of unwanteds. It not only disintegrates, but avasadayati, destroys. Sakaranam unmulayati, roots it out along with its cause. It brings a complete non-returnable end. It removes ignorance totally, the root cause of samsara, and therefore never can samsara come back. The third meaning, a positive one, is Brahma gamayati. It makes you reach Brahman. If Brahman is away from you, perhaps it can make you reach Brahman. But Brahman, being yourself, makes you gain the knowledge of Brahman. What does it make you gain knowledge of? What is the subject matter? We will understand it by analyzing the two prefixes attached to sad. The two upasargas, prefixes are upa and ni. Remember, the word Upanishad is a compound and has two prefixes. So we have upa plus ni plus sad forming the compound word Upanishad. The word Upanishad is made from upa plus ni plus sad plus quip. Sad becomes shad after the prefix ni. The word Upanishad is an upapada tatpurusha samasa. Upapada tatpurusha samasa. Samasa is compound word. The prefix upa indicates nearness. In this case, you cannot get nearer because the one you are seeking is you. It is like the 10th man. The one whom you are seeking so as to be free from time is the timeless you, the nearest. Nothing can be nearer to you than yourself. The Upanishad says, Tattvam Asi, that Brahman is you, the nearest. The only reason you appear to be away from Brahman is because you are seeking, separated only by the island of ignorance. What one has to understand is that ignorance has 0 dimensions. There is nothing. It has no area, no distance in time or in space. It only causes an as-though distance, Dashamavat, like the 10th man. That is why the 10th man is a very good example. The sought-after 10th man is the searching 10th man. What is the difference between the two? There is 0 distance. Still he is searching. That distance between the seeker 10th man and sought-after 10th man is wrought by sheer ajnanam, ignorance. So too, you cannot put a distance between you and yourself. That nearest object, upa, is you yourself, who is Brahman. Ni, the other prefix, indicates nischayartha, definite and ascertained knowledge. It is open to examination and therefore has to be very well ascertained knowledge. The knowledge of the nearest, the self, is called Atma Vidya. The Upanishad is Atma Vidya. What does it do? It gives definite knowledge of yourself. And thus, Visharanam Karoti Avasadayati Brahma Gamayati. It disintegrates, loosens all unwanted problems, completely destroys samsara with its root cause of ignorance, and makes one gain the knowledge such that the ignorance can never return. All this is indicated by the word Upanishad. Sometimes you'll hear the word Upanishad explained differently to mean sit near the teacher and gain knowledge. This is a somewhat romantic meaning. The correct meaning is what we have arrived at through analysis. The word Upanishad reveals Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, which is the subject matter of Vedanta. Therefore, the book is also called Upanishad. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।